Olga Bakulina in Russia. Very good morning. Welcome to Air Sports News.
Hi Regan, how are you?
Good. It's great to see you. It's been a long time.
Yeah, long time no see. It's really nice to see you too.
It's good to see you.
I definitely miss seeing people.
It's strange. It really is. The only people I see is on Zoom like this. Let's tell people who you are. You're a wind tunnel flyer, you're a wind tunnel instructor, skydiver originally, skier, photographer.
Oh my goodness.
Did I miss anything out?
I think you got most of it. Well, I mean, professionally, I'm a wind tunnel instructor and a coach. That's my main activity. That's my sport, my job, my life, pretty much. Used to be a skydiver, and yeah, I do have other hobbies like skiing and some speed flying. I do like photography when I travel. I'm not like professional photographer, but I just like to take pictures when I travel and like make albums and keep the memories from the places I've been.
You do pull some really pretty pictures. You do indeed. Where are you right now?
Thank you.
Tell us where you are.
I'm at home in Russia, in Moscow.
And are you working at one of the tunnels? Are you freelance? How is it working for you?
Right now I'm freelancing. It's a bit slow because people cannot really travel around, so it's been pretty slow for coaches around the world, I suppose. It's kind of ironic because we have the cheapest tunnels here in Russia and the good ones, but nobody can come and enjoy them. So pretty much it's mostly locals who fly.
What are the rates? What's the approximate rate for an hour these days?
It varies from like 180 euros to 260, depending on the tunnel, but we're talking about like 14 to 17 feet tunnels, so it's really good. And I can't wait, for people to be able to travel and come and enjoy those nice tunnels, because I mean, nowhere else you can find such a good price.
I mean, in the States, you'll pay
700, 600. 600 is probably the minimum they give you. So
do you not skydive anymore, Olga?
I haven't jumped in about 7 years, so it's not like I'm saying like I forever quit, but for now I'm not doing it. If I decide I want to do it again, I might. So it's just not on my priority list right now.
Well, let's just wind back a little bit to the summer, to this year where this coronavirus hit, because you had an adventure and a half. You were in the States and the work stopped. What happened? Tell me how it was for you at the beginning of the pandemic.
Basically, I went to US. We did a camp, and 2 days after I arrived, they closed the borders and canceled my plane ticket. So I got stuck there for 5 months without being able to come back home. And without a job pretty much, because everything was closed, drop zones were closed, and basically I had to just sit and wait and, I don't know, exercise, not to get crazy, walk around and all that stuff.
Yeah, I was following your story. It was quite an adventure. People were helping you out, taking you in, and
I was pretty fortunate. My friends, they gave me a place to stay, and I was pretty much in a good hands. So big thanks to them, for sure. It did help a lot, and it was good. So it was warm at least, it was nice and warm.
So with your work in the tunnel, we'll get to your professional competition stuff afterwards. But to begin with, your coaching in the tunnel, are you coaching people with high experience already? Are you taking first timers or a mixture of both?
I take pretty much whoever wants to fly. I used to do a lot of first timers when I was working full time. I'm not doing so much first timers anymore unless they want to continue flying and learn. I can take from like 0 level. And I mean, from very basic level to competitive level, preparing routines for the competition, for freestylers, some dynamic techniques and basics, pretty much like all of that.
And I know you more. I know you're a bit from skydiving, but I know you're more from the tunnel, from the freestyle in the tunnel, from all the major competitions over the last 5, 6, 7 years, especially the freestyle to music. It is, without a doubt, one of the areas of air sports that really does capture the imagination of the public. Let's talk a bit about that, why that is. What makes it different? What is it about freestyle to music that the people who know nothing about air sports they can connect with a little bit?
Well, that's definitely my favorite thing to do in the tunnel. And I think it's very relatable to people because people are familiar with gymnastics, with figure skating, and freestyle in the tunnel with music gives you kind of that feeling. So you have no idea what's going on, but it looks really nice, and it's with the music, so you can really not just like fly around, you can really tell the story with your performance. And yeah, I think that particular thing makes it for people relatable and enjoyable to watch, like a dance.
Yes.
Like a really good dance.
And you really bring a creative side to it. You do, and all the other flyers as well, to different extents. But I would imagine when you started in air sports, when you started jumping out of planes, did you envision that you would have to eventually bring a creative edge into it, to bring artistry, which you do now?
Actually, not in the beginning, because I was like 15 years old. I jumped with round parachutes out of like old planes.
Yeah.
So I had no idea. I thought like I was pretty average skydiver, and I didn't think big at the moment. I just really loved it, and I just wanted to do it. And I didn't know where it will take me. I just really, really liked it, and I just wanted to continue. And as I gained the experience, of course, I started to have some sport goals and some interests to compete and to participate in records and stuff. So, because I mean, it would be boring for me just to do the same thing over and over. I always want to evolve, no matter if I compete professionally or I'm just flying by myself or jumping. I just always want to evolve and create something new. So for me, it's important to continue working on my own skills as well.
Your first jumps, was it an AN2?
Yes, actually it was.
Yeah, I did my last ever round static line. I trained on round static lines, but my last one was in Russia, was at a boogie in St. Petersburg in '93, I think. And we did static line on military Russian equipment from 100 meters, from 300 feet.
Nice. I did that twice over the water. And once they actually missed the water, and I was like in my swimsuit. So I landed in the village between like the house and the fence, like miraculously didn't get hurt or anything, but it was kind of like adventure.
So the guys in the village were doing the garden, and the next thing you know, from the skies comes a girl in a bikini on a parachute.
Yeah, that's kind of funny. Yeah, like at that particular house where I landed, there were no people, but there were like people right next door, and they were like, "Oh my god!" It's like, "Where do you come from? Do they pay you for this?" I was like, it's like, "Yeah, of course," you know. So I wouldn't like tell them that we actually have to pay for that stuff, and then they drop you in the village.
So back to the freestyle to music then, with the putting the routine together. You've got the moves that you need to be thinking about. You've got the music that you need to think about. Which comes first?
I think, well, it depends. Like if you're just learning, of course, you have to learn certain elements, and then you can combine them and create something. But when you're already like on a certain level of flying, when you have some elements, combinations, moves, then the way it works for me, sometimes I just find a piece of music that I really, really like, and I start imagining my routine into this music, which elements would fit where, and what would look nice. So basically, yeah, that's how I do it pretty much. But You can also probably just combine some routine and find music for this. There are like different ways how to do it.
Do you have much input and connection with the other top flyers on the circuit, or do you keep yourself to yourself? How does that work? Like now during this time where there's not much happening, are you in touch with the other flyers, with the community?
Pretty much online mostly. We get in touch, we discuss some things. Luckily, like in Russia, we had our nationals going on, so I was able to communicate at least with our flyers. So that was really nice. With people around the world, it's pretty much online. Like we send messages sometimes and discuss a couple things. Not like in the good old days when you go to the event and you see everybody and communicate like crazy.
Yeah. The nationals, was that last week?
It was December 1st to 5th, I suppose. Yeah. I think so.
What was I watching last week? There was somebody freestyle with fireworks in the tunnel.
That was a demo. We have a girl. I think she has some kind of circus theater thing going on. She runs it, so she has all this like funky pyro stuff and the costumes, and she happens to be also a tunnel flyer, so she did that, and it was very entertaining. It was pretty cool. Actually, funny thing, I got to comment freestyle for the like first time in this event, and it was quite interesting. I did something you usually do.
Were you doing it in Russian?
Oh, of course, yeah. It's a Russian national, so.
Well, we'll have to get you doing it in English next time.
If they decide to do international live stream, I will. But this live stream was like national, pretty much. So it would make sense for me to speak English because a lot of people probably wouldn't understand.
So how did the tunnel competition start for you, Olga? How did it all begin?
Tunnel competition. Yeah. I think I did a couple local ones before I went to World Cup, and I did like old school artistic free fly with another person. Then I think I got interest in freestyle, and pretty much I was just figuring this out because there was like nobody who could really teach me that. And I was just trying to create some moves and get inspirations from different activities and try new things. And finally I got something together, and that's when the first World Cup happened, and I was like, oh, I probably should go there because it's like a first freestyle event ever, and I went. So that was my first international competition in the tunnel.
Yeah, and what's happening now for you? Do you have any work in the tunnel right now? Do you have any local people flying?
Yeah, it's a bit slow. Like I have a couple of local students here and there, but I mean, of course, I'm not as busy as I would like to be. Yeah. And yeah, I'm keeping myself busy. I'm doing some stretching, some qigong, and what else? Like I don't know, walking around. Around the city, trying to visit new areas and stuff.
Have you got the snow there yet? Have you got the bad weather?
Oh, yeah, we do. Yeah, we have.
So from your competitions that you've done, which come to mind as being the ones that you've enjoyed the most? Not necessarily your best performance, but the ones that you've enjoyed the most.
I did really enjoy flying at the Extreme Week in Norway.
Yeah,
that was a fun one, and not just a competition itself. It's just such a nice festival where everybody comes together from all kinds of sports. And of course, I have many friends from skydiving community, and all these people were there as well. So it was like a big celebration. It was a lot of fun. And I also really enjoyed the last World Championship because I think that was probably from the performance side, when I was like, I really liked my routine and I was pretty stable with my performance. So I was pretty satisfied how that went. Maybe it wasn't like medal thing, but at least I was pretty happy with how it went for me.
Yeah. And are you still using elements of that routine now? Have you changed much?
Um, I'm I have a couple demo routines because I'm also doing some demo performances and shows. Yeah, like last year I did a really nice demo in Berlin and another one in Minsk. So it's kind of sad that this year I'm not getting to do that, because usually I'm getting invited to these kind of things, and those are a lot of fun. Like I loved what we did in Minsk, because we did 4 routines, each of us,
Yeah.
like 2 solo routines and 2 routines we did with Leo Volkov.
Yeah.
So one very funny one and another one was kind of like a 2-way freestyle thing. So I'm really enjoying this kind of stuff, because this keeps me on the creative side and it doesn't really puts me in the box, a little bit like a competition because of the strict rules and the like timing. Like now, if I have piece of music, doesn't matter how big it is or short, like I have particular piece of music and I can really create routine into this piece of music. So that's what I really like doing right now.
So these invitationals, the Minsk one, especially in the Berlin one, how do they come about? What is the avenue through that, and who's organising them? Is it for television, or tell me a bit about them?
Well, basically in Minsk, they opened the new tunnel.
Yes.
And they did have some big event. They brought, I think they had television and bloggers and all the all different people around. So it was like opening ceremony. They opened up the tunnel for the public, and of course they want the performance. So they invite people from different places. They invited me. They invited Sydney Kenneth from US. I think they invited quite a few other people and some locals. So we could show the people. They invited Leo as well, so we could show people a little bit of actual tunnel flying and freestyle, entertain them a little bit.
Who coordinates that? Who does the plan, and how much time do you have to get the show together?
Well, each demo is different. Each performance is different. Like for example, in Minsk, what I really liked, they took it very seriously. So they brought like a really nice lighting. They brought a professional DJ. They had the equipment for performing with music.
Yes.
And it was really enjoyable because they let us train as much as we needed. And then, of course, the performance, like the day of the performance was a lot of fun too, because it was a lot of people. It was beautiful, nice lighting, everybody excited. So that was a lot of fun.
So how much time did you have there before the actual performance?
I'm not sure exactly. I think a couple hours. I flew a couple hours just to like prepare my routines or like memorize them and put them together a little bit. Yeah, something like this. So for demo, it's actually pretty good.
Yeah, there's a big crossover at the moment with entertainment and tunnels, isn't there? There's, like you say, with the professional lighting and the staging, and Erodium are doing a lot with that as well. Over in Lithuania, it's being used on stage shows as well, on different events. Have you seen some of these?
Yeah, I saw. What I really liked was, I think, at the Armin van Buren show. I think it was Tomorrowland. I'm not sure exactly, but one of the huge trance festivals, they had like a small tunnel over there, and people were flying like in lit up costumes with really cool neon lights around. So that was pretty cool. I think Tom's did it, or his friends. And yeah, I would love to do some more of that stuff, because it's just gives you endless possibilities for creativity. You can use anything you want. Like if you have proper stuff, you can rent it, and you can really create something visually unique. And also like music videos, I think were the thing. This kind of collaborations are a lot of fun as well. I think some break dancers were collaborating with tunnel flyers as well. I mean, yeah, it comes together. I think sport becomes more recognizable So people start to pay attention and invite athletes into very interesting projects.
Yeah. Just talking there about breakdancing, the news over the last few weeks is it's now been included as an official Olympic sport, breaking. And tunnel has been trying to push through. There was a big push last year from the French Federation to go for the Paris Olympics, trying to get the tunnel as a recognised sport. What do you think, Olga? What do you think about the future for tunnel flying?
Well, I think it's gonna grow for sure. I'm not sure how I would feel about Olympics because it can be good and it can be not so good. I mean, Olympics have lots of politics going on. So, but from the exposure and from point of view for kids, for them to learn, I think that could be a good thing because you get more finance from government, and they can finance the schools for kids, and kids can learn because it's a very expensive sport and not everybody can really afford it.
That's true.
To participate in it. Maybe if it becomes more famous, there will be a federation who will help young talents to develop and compete.
Yeah, I think what we need to look at as well is how we do engage the public. It's quite a niche sport, like you say. It takes a lot of money to reach a certain level, but I think we can help by putting things in front of the camera which are pleasing for the people. The freestyle to music is absolutely gorgeous to watch. We have a lot of events in the tunnel which have come from the sky, which are, they're great for skydivers, great for tunnel flyers, but they're not really that pleasing for people to watch who don't know what it is. For instance, 4-way and 8-way, these types of things. My passion as a sport, but it doesn't really mean anything to the public. Have you ever thought about what people would do in the tunnel differently than what we do now? Any different types of disciplines for competition which people might enjoy?
I personally was thinking a lot about two-way freestyle, like a male and female type of thing, like a figure skating. Probably that would be something new, but also pretty familiar for people because it's been used in dancing and figure skating. So that would be relatable, but also new for the sport. I think freestyle is gonna continue to grow because the sky is the limit, like it's an endless possibility to improve your skills and imagination. And honestly, I think would be great if more commercial competitions were happening with sponsors and stuff, like X Games. That would be cool if, for example, tunnel flying became part of the X Games, because I always thought X Games was like on the cooler side of the competitions, not too official and very unique, very interesting disciplines, and a lot of these disciplines would become Olympic then, like later, after they've been tested at the X Games. So I would love to see something like this.
I mean, X Games have had their relationships with air sports in the past. In the early 90s, sky surfing was a big part of the X Games. For quite a while, a couple of years, it almost got mainstream, and then I think the funding just dried up.
Yeah, we had a champion in our country who actually won X Games, a sky surfer. And yeah, when I was a young skydiver, sky surfing was like something unreal. It was like my passion. But unfortunately, by the time when I was ready to do it, they stopped.
Yeah.
Like they quit the discipline. We went to the last World Championship with my teammate to compete in freestyle, and that was the last World Championship where they had a sky surfing discipline, and then they stopped. I got to film it once, actually.
Did?
Yes, I got hit by the board as well.
Oof. Wow.
So yeah, I mean, it's a lot of fun. I would love to do it, but right now I think people still do it here and there. It's just not as big as it was in 90s. But
Yeah,
such a beautiful discipline, though.
It is. But it's always been very low numbers taking part, but it always captured the imagination as well of the public. I remember in the early 90s when I started skydiving, people would always say, "Oh, do you do it on a surfboard?" You know, people always connected with that.
Snowboard.
Yeah, snowboard, they would say. Now people say, "Are you doing wingsuit base?" You know, people associate skydiving with that.
Yeah, actually, a lot of proximity videos out there, I think, and people. I mean, they look cool, but people don't know how dangerous it is. So they're like, "Oh, that would be so nice, such a nice thing to do." I was like, "Well, you know, it might be
Takes a lot of
dangerous."
skill. Takes a lot of skill.
Yeah.
So what's next for you over the next few months? What are you going to be doing?
We'll see. I'm hoping to finally, like, the pandemic will lift up a bit and countries will lift up the restrictions and we'll be able to travel again, because I miss that a lot.
Yeah, me too.
All of us are kind of being stuck in one place here and there, but yeah, maybe European people are a bit more lucky in a way because they can move around Europe. But like from my country, I can go maybe to a couple places, but they don't have tunnels, so I can go for vacation, but not for something interesting.
What's the restrictions like in Moscow where you are? Are the bars and restaurants closed? Are open? Can you go outside?
You can go outside. I think you have to wear a mask in a public place, like everywhere. And I think they close bars and restaurants after 11 p.m.
Yeah.
So yeah, pretty much. Other than that, well, kids are in the homeschooling right now, so pretty much that. But yeah, you can come out. Tunnels are working, which is a great thing. So drop zones are, well, not right now, but they were working while season was going on. But for now, it's a bit cold.
Which tunnel do you mainly go to?
Well, right now I'm in Moscow, so mostly I go to Flow Moscow tunnel. It's a 15-footer.
Yeah.
Like really nice one. I go to smaller ones as well if people want me to. I actually did a really cool demo for junior freestyle kids for Russian nationals.
Yes.
So it was in smaller tunnel, which also is a bit more difficult to fly in, but also fun because you get to do something new.
And what's the situation with the Russian kids? How many were there in competition?
Actually, a lot.
Yeah.
Like, I was surprised how many new kids we have, and with actual good potential talent. So hopefully they won't lose their interest, they keep doing it, and we're gonna see some very interesting flyers very soon, I think.
That's interesting. That's really, really good information, isn't it? Because there's always that new crop who are coming through that we don't know about yet. And a year later, we see them on the scene.
Yeah, like on a rookie competition for kids, we had like 25 kids maybe, which is ridiculous. I went there and I was like, oh my God, it's like a school here. Yeah,
who's coaching them? Who's coaching them all? Different people?
Different people. We have like a lot of actually kids from regions, because we have small tunnels in regions. So people also come from regions with their local coaches, and yeah, I mean, or some of them, they even just fly by themselves. Like they learn by watching some videos and stuff. And
really?
yeah, I mean, they don't have much of the choice in the region because there are no freestyle coaches out there. I think we're only like 3 freestyle coaches in Russia,
right?
Like a professional freestyle coaches. And other than that, it's it's just whoever flies in the tunnel teaches whoever. Yeah, pretty much.
How many tunnels do you have there in Moscow?
In Moscow, we have, let me think. So we have flow, we have a free zone, it's a bit outside. We have a vacuum, it's a small tunnel. We have aerodynamica, which is another very small tunnel. Those are like the busiest probably. So those 4 would be probably the main tunnels.
The one you go to, Flow, do you say it's 15-footer?
Yeah, it's a 15-footer tunnel tech, and it also has city wave, right next to it.
Right.
So you can also surf. So, and yeah, you can have some extra fun there.
Is it a technology which is used in other tunnels? Does it already exist, or is it a new one?
Oh,
How
yeah.
the airflow?
Yeah, it's like PlayStation Japan, PlayStation Korea.
Right.
So it's the same tunnel, PlayStation Munich, and yeah, in Moscow. Those are, I think, 4 tunnels right now. They have, I think they're building one in Siberia, the big one.
Right.
Supposed to be ready next year. Should be 17-foot tunnel.
Wow.
So we'll see how that goes. Oh, we actually have another one in south part of Russia, in Chechnya. It's a 17-footer Hurricane factory, and that's the cheapest one as well.
Is it?
Yeah. So yeah, we do have tunnels, so that's a good thing.
Well, the one here in Montreal is currently closed. It's been closed all summer. So I'm waiting to go, and I'm waiting for it to open so me and Lise can go and have a fly. But at the moment, no, nothing.
They didn't open it since pandemic?
No.
Wow. What about Toronto and other tunnels?
I'm not 100% sure. I know Chewy's over there, and I think he might have done some flying, but I don't think much. I'm not sure. They might be closed as well. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, I've heard Canada was pretty strict. Did they open the drop zones?
The drop zones were open in the summertime. All of them were open. People were jumping.
Well, better than nothing, I suppose. But yeah, it's kind of sad for tunnel flying community. Like in US, tunnels been closed for 3 months, I think. Nobody could fly, and yeah, in Russia for quite a while too. But then they opened them in summer, and still going. Only, I think only the events cannot have spectators.
Right.
But competitions and some events are happening, so that's a good thing.
Good. Well, listen, it's been absolutely fantastic to catch up with you and to see you. And I must say, your hair looks quite normal. I was expecting red or yellow or pink. It looks almost
normal, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like a blonde or orange and normal, my normal hair color. Yeah, it's a bit easier to maintain during these times, and yeah, I'll get back for sure to crazy colors. But right now, I'm like sitting at home mostly, or like going to the tunnel, and nobody really sees that, so there's no point really. When it's gonna be a little bit more social, I'll get back to funky colors, that's for sure.
Look forward to it. Olga, thanks for joining us. Have a great evening out there in Moscow, and have a great Christmas. And I look forward to seeing you somewhere soon.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, it's nice to see you too.